Imagine being that leader in the organization that people want to work for. People are fighting, people interview, people change teams to come and work with you, work for you. Why? Because they know that working with you there will grow. Imagine being that leader in the organization that has the reputation of always growing, extending, bringing new things. What do you think about being the leader that has such a reputation? I think it would be cool to be the leader. Oh, Judy, no, I like to work for her because whenever I work for her, I'm sure I will grow. We will be talking about growth as a leader, how to continue to grow, why it is important to continue to grow. What are some strategies to help you grow as a leader and help you grow, expand your people? And in general, when you talk growth, there's some expansion, there's some tension related to the word growth. So we will be talking today about getting out of your comfort zone. What makes it important to get out of the comfort zone? And how do you do that efficiently for you and for your team with more impact? Hey, I'm Judy Glory, and it's a joy for me to connect with you today for the live session of our week 12 into our leadership journey, how to activate impact and increase the impact of the leader you are. And it'll be a pleasure like sharing with you based on the wonderful book of John Maxwell, Developing the Leader in You, some strategies you can use to really get comfortable getting out of that comfort zone because you know there's growth, because you know there is development, and becoming a lifelong learner. It's all about growth. It's all about getting out of comfort zone is what we'll be talking about today. So this is the menu. And by the end of today's session, not only you will know why it's important as a leader to continue to develop and grow, but how concretely do you do that? What are some concrete actions you can take right after this live to develop yourself as a leader, but also develop people around you? And as usual, we will give you time to reflect on where you are in your journey today, to just stop and look at you, how comfortable or uncomfortable you put yourself as a leader. And you have time to just reflect, is this the leader I want to be? More someone who stays in the routine, keeping things low risk, or someone who is willing to get out of his comfort zone to grow him, his people, and his organization. So let's get rolling. Before adding even more knowledge on what you already know, by now you know that I'm big on this. It's important for me to really stop and think and reflect what you've learned, what you have applied on what we talked about last week. So, again, key learnings from today: growth happens outside comfort zone. Like if you want to grow, think getting out of your comfort zone. Sounds like you're rushing, Judith. What is causing the stress? Um, yeah, so these are the key learnings from today's session: comfort zone and growth. And we will see how great leaders they are familiar with getting out to develop resilience. They are familiar with accepting challenges because they know growth happens out of the comfort zone. And I wanted to start the session today by sharing this saying by Maxwell that says, um, a leader's lasting value is measured by successions. The more you invest in others, the stronger your leadership legacy remains. Which makes me think about what we talked about last week. Yes, last week was about the essential lesson in leadership: developing your people. And maybe before doing a quick recap, I feel like taking a little pause here to ask you, what have you tried of what you learned last week? Is there one thing that you tried to develop your people? Are there some realization? And one quick question: if you were to go today, if there was another challenge, if you were, say, upgraded to a higher position, Will your team continue to function effectively without you? That's a key question, because if the answer is no, then there's something to be done to ensure succession. We talked a lot last week about the importance of investing in people. One, because it's a way for you to expand your reach, to amplify your impact. But beyond that, a leader's legacy is measured on what happens when they are not there, on the type, the quality, and how much his people who work with him. I don't like so much the word followers. How much people can carry over with your vision after you. And that's why one good question I like to ask people I work with is, yeah, if you are promoted today, if you have to go say and start, I don't know, a new company, a new branch, a new thing somewhere else, if you had to just go, can the team continue to deliver the same results, or why not even more without you? And in general, for that to happen, it takes that the leader identifies the key people, the key abilities, and develops a plan to grow these people so that they have everything they need to continue carrying the vision. So I'm curious of what you saw last week. What did you do with what you saw? Did you try something? Do you have a good succession plan? Or maybe it's time for you to get serious and not only think about it, but make a concrete plan that you carry over so that by December you can look back. And if I ask you the same question, you can say, yeah, actually, if I can move. I can confidently go and take a different challenge because there's this person who can take over. There's this ability for the team to function and be effective. It takes one, two, three, and not only the people, but the skills are there. We also talked about the fact that really a way to amplify your leadership, the impact and the legacy is to invest in people. Yeah, you have this vision, you have this thing that's burning in your, and you made it happen. Now imagine if it's not just you carrying it, but you can transmit. You have been able to transmit that vision, that dream, that way of seeing things, that leadership culture. It will not just be now Judith or Barbara or Holly or Patrick saying something, but it will be one, two, three, four people having the same vision. So the impact will be bigger. And for you to have that bigger impact, multiply. Sometimes I like to say, how can we create mini Judiths? How can we create mini? What are you actively, intentionally doing to create people who can continue to run with your vision? I'm sure you've seen teams, initiatives, or organization where there was a great leader, and after they went, the initiative just died. Error. They didn't invest in developing people to carry over, and we don't want that to be your story. We want your leadership legacy to continue. We want that vision you have. We want your trademark, the leadership quality, the culture you want to instill to continue long after you've gone. Last week, we even talked about the fact that great leaders, they're gone sometimes 50, 100 years after. People still talk about them. People still carry over the vision they had. I have a dream, or Nelson Mandela's, or this woman in Calcutta. Like, they were exceptional leaders and they could pass along the vision to some other people. 50, 100 years after, people are still carrying over their vision. How they did that? By investing to transmit and give and pass that vision. So, what will you do? What have you done? What is your mini action to develop your people so that they are able to take over in case you had to go? These were the concrete actions from last week. And I really wanted to really remind you it was a great live. If you didn't watch it, I vividly encourage you to go and have a look because we went into more detail and illustrations on what makes developing people important and some shift that needed to happen. on top of thinking about what needs to be done, to think about the people, what they need, some ways to identify their strengths and what you do after you've identified their potential. There was so much, it was packed with value. So go on the channel, check playlist, and look for leadership essential. You'll find a lot. Specifically, the one for last week was all about developing people. So this week we're talking comfort zone, we're talking growth. What makes that even important? Before delving again, I feel like asking you, what was the last leadership challenge that stretched you the most? The leadership, there are some challenges that when we are given, we really have to stretch to be up to the challenge. And I wonder, what was that last leadership challenge for you? Um, it's like this for I'm trying to check when was the last time you accepted to get out of your comfort zone. In general, we like it comfortable. Really, like, I want to be honest. Um, it's still winter here in Canada. In waking up at 5 during winter to go and run out is not a very appealing thing. It's cold, especially when you have like -20 and there's the wind factor. So actually, you're feeling like more around -30. But you have to wake up, wear those clothes, those layers, and go out. And sometimes people will like, why? Oh, myself, why am I doing this to myself? It's much more comfortable here in the blankets. It's much more comfortable here. But still, I get out and I go and do the run. Why? Because getting out in that cold is good for my cardio. When I run, when I go out at that 5, even if it's winter, I come back with more energy. I'm ready to just tackle my day, and my body is warm up so I can take. It's like I have more energy, and that's kind of my secret for winter. Because if I had stayed under that blanket, oh, it's warm and cozy and comfortable, it'll be harder. It'll be harder to get out and go and do all the things I have to do. So sometimes getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of that comfort place will allow you to grow, to learn and build new experience, which is growth we are talking about. So, essentially, in the content of today, Maxwell says if you are a leader who wants to grow, get used to, get comfortable getting out of comfort zone. Why? Because growth happens out of the comfort zone. Yeah, that's essentially it. Growth happens out of the comfort zone. And what makes getting out of the comfort zone so important? Well, I want to call your attention on some of these things that I have highlighted. If we take the first line, staying comfortable zone, staying under that warm blanket, well, it's routine, it's something we know, it's safety, it's cozy over here. And have you noticed that the words in blue, routine, familiarity, safety, is kind of maintenance related? Um, Safety, known. It's like, okay, you are in maintenance mode. Safety, what you know, secure is what you know. And if I bring up the slides again and you see the words related to beyond, outside your comfort zone, you hear things like growth, new skills, expansion. Have you noticed that when I started talking about growth, new things, expansion, the body expression growth big, it's like if you want some growth, if you want expansion, if you want to extend your territory, think growth. Think growth. Like if you want to stay cozy, comfortable, well, maintenance mode. Do you want to be a leader who lives in maintenance mode, or a leader who grows as a leader, who grows his team, who grows his organization? What I see and hear a lot of time is a lot of leaders want growth, expansion, innovation, creativity, doing things different, bringing organization to higher heights. And if you notice, these words are words related to out of your comfort zone, out of your comfort zone. So, if you are a leader who wants to be in maintenance mode, you know what to do. Stay within what you find comfortable. Stay within what you know. Well, according to John, if you are growing, definitely you are always, most of the time, out of your comfort zone. So, why getting out of your comfort zone if you want growth, innovation, expansion, new things? Get out of your comfort zone. One thing that I want to tell to illustrate that, the baby, when they're born, they're carried and then they explore. They see adults walking, so they start to explore, how can I manage to put one foot in front of the other? And they get out. When they are being seated or in the bed, it's comfortable, so they need to try something different, and you can clearly see it's out of their comfort zone, because when they start to put that first leg, they are shaky, they're not sure, but they give a try, and that's how they learn to work. It's the same thing for any project. For you as a leader, you need to accept to get out of what you know, to try something new, to be able to get new things. And that's why John can say, if you're growing, definitely you're living out of the comfort zone. That's also why another leader, I don't know exactly, it's not coming to my mind like right now, said, if you continue to do the same things, you will get the same results. You want something different, you need to think different and do different things. And doing different things means getting out of the known, uncomfortable, trying something. So there's value. You want to try new territory, new, I don't know, ways of cooking, new ways to be more effective, new ways of maximizing your budget or your time. Hey, you need to try something different. So you will get out of the ways of working, to try something different. And that could be uncomfortable. Now, we see the value of getting out, growth, new skills, new abilities, expansion. So, what makes it that some people still choose to stay in the comfort zone even though there are these benefits? Well, there are some things holding people back. There are some things holding people back. And if you notice, well, I've highlighted some points, not all. Fear, self doubt, waiting for perfection. If you've been following me and watching my videos, I did a series, in a short series on obstacles stopping people from really launching and trying to make an impact with their superpowers. And yeah, even though people are aware that I'm great at this, I have this. Well, I'm not sure if it's not successful. I'm afraid it may not come out well. Have you heard how much fear is a big thing holding people, holding us back? Fear. And also, there are some people for whom it's more like perfectionism. Oh no, I cannot put myself out there until I have this. Same in organization. I cannot try this because it takes A, B, C. And one thing I notice, a lot of people who over around perfection, the list of things they need to get started, to get out of that comfort zone, just keep growing. Um, and I like to offer, as I did in that series, the real secret to get out of here is get out. Get out and try something. Get out of that comfort zone and try something. Why? Because as you have seen in this slide, they doubt their ability, fear of failure. Have you noticed doubt, fear, all those things are in the head? a lot of the things mentioned on these slides are in the head. They are not facts. I'll bring back the slides. Do you see anything factual here? You fear something that hasn't happened yet. You doubt your ability, something that hasn't happened yet. This is not like a clear feedback that you did and people said. And even if it happened, as we will see in the next couple minutes, what can you learn? So people are held back by an outcome, a result that is in the future. Hey, my offer is, how about putting yourself out there, getting to the market, go and gather facts by getting out of the comfort zone and trying something. Let the market, let the result, let the outcome confirm if it's a great idea or no, if that thing you want to build is worth it. And I like sometimes to say, we just see that when we allow fear to hold us back, it's like you are allowing just one part of the probability to decide about the opportunity. What if, I'm bringing back the slides. So if you want to try something, you want to build, you want to grow, what, you're afraid of failure. Hey, that's not the only option. That's not the only portion. Like, it could go well 50%, it could be a flop 50%. But if you live just in this 50%, what about this other 50%? What are you doing with that? And yeah, okay, let's get even more mathematical. It could be up, down, or neutral. Even then, that's 35, 35. So when you choose to just, oh, I'll not do anything, I'll freeze and protect and stay in the no, protect my reputation by doing nothing, well, you're choosing to decide that 35% takes over. How or what if it actually worked? And now I've seen this make a difference a lot of times in coaching sessions. Oh, Judith, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Now, what if it actually worked? They never thought about that. Yeah, but what if? And then bringing the conversation around, what is data? Like, actually, let's go and look for facts. Let's challenge this thinking, that doubt, fear. Do you have enough evidence if you were to try to really bring this thing, this idea, this assumption of fear or doubt to court? Do you think it will win? Sometimes when you've been coaching someone for a time, you have a lot of facts that's saying something else. Oh, I'm afraid if I take this new team, I'm afraid if I say yes to this new leadership challenge, I will fail. What makes you say that? Well, I'm not sure. The team is big. Well, they are managing a bigger team. It's the first time. They are not sure. Maybe the leadership, they have great relationship with the leadership. So, and that's why I'm like, the way to really test those things that are in the head or in the future, go and gather the facts. Dare to put yourself out there, get out of this comfort zone and do something and observe. Give a chance to the 50% it could work. Just give a try. And even if, which brings me to another point, and even if the outcome is not what you expected, then what? Whoa, Judith, I would jeopardize all the reputation or all the things I've worked hard. How so? Do you think just one thing not working would just put down all the successes you've had so far? And again, what are the learning? What can, even if the outcome is not what you expected, are there some learnings that could be gathered? In general, yes. In general, yes. And when I've done the exercise, guys, I've done more than 5,000 coaching sessions. When I've done the exercise, will it be useful if we just look at what learning? When people are like down, the outcome was not what was expected. Will it be beneficial to just look at what you could get out of this? Oh, this type of sessions, I love it because then they realize, whoa, there's a lot of learning. there are actually some things that are essentially possible because the outcome wasn't the one expected. And that's where I coined the question for those who look the series on like what I talk about in gratitude. Hey, say gratitude for everything. Because when you start to ask yourself the question, what is uniquely possible because of this outcome? Yes. Oh, but it's bad. It's not the outcome I wanted. Yeah. But what is possible? What did that bring you? What is uniquely available, possible because it didn't work? One concrete example had someone who was feeling so down because they planned their vacation thing and then the things was canceled and they were feeling like bad parents, not good enough, not if oh my god, making a whole story out of that. But when I was like, okay, what did the fact your flight was canceled or the whole vacation was canceled, what did it bring you and your family? Actually, how did you manage that? Well, we did staycation, and then we discussed how we could use the time, and we listened to each other, and we made some plans, and it was a week at home, but like every day one person was deciding, and it was a long time we didn't do that. That was a beautiful conversation, because listening to this person a couple minutes ago who was like, oh, I feel a bad person, a bad father, a bad parent. I promise we worked on this and it's not working, to see them realize actually and come up with, wow, it was a long time we didn't do things like that. And that's why I love coaching. As you just create a space and you ask questions and they process and come up with things like, definitely, yeah, it was a long time. And what does that tell you about you? This learning. All this talk is to say, even if the outcome is not the one you expected, there might be learning and good learning and transformative learning. So if we come back to the probability thing, oh, I don't want to dare to put myself out of comfort zone, may not work. It could work. Even if it didn't work, there might be learning here that you can capitalize. So that's more than 50%. And the only way to know is to go out and do the thing. Go out and give a try. Go out, get out of that comfort zone. You may actually experience that growth, learn new skills, and expand your leadership, that of the team, the impact you're having in your organization. The only way to make that happen, put yourself out there. So, waiting for the no matter what reason is keeping you stagnant, fear of failure, fear is in the head. You want to test, you want to have the data. I like to talk about data is real. Feelings are just feelings. Some days you feel up, you feel cranked to go and do things and change the world. Some other days you don't feel like that. But what is the data saying when you look around in your leadership? What concrete things going out there and doing something and having an outcome? That's a concrete fact. That's a concrete experience you can stand on and say, I tried this, put myself, and as you do that, you learn to do new things, you make new relationship, there's growth, and this is a concrete thing. Now even if you say, I hesitate to do this, I did last time and this is what happened. So even if it's fear of failure, doubting yourself, the only way to know if you will be successful, if there can be learning, is to actually go out and put yourself out of that comfort zone. So concretely, how do you do that as a leader? Oh, this is Judith again, really trying to insist on the value of really getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah, growth zone, which is out of comfort zone, which can be painful, challenging, is where transformation happens. You know by now, if you've been watching my videos, I like to say transformation happens where there's action. Action, action, action. Do something. Fear is in the head. Doubt is in the head. A lot of it's in the head. Get out of there and see what happens. Get out of there and try to do something and observe. Because, as I said, I described a couple minutes ago, as you try something, you build new ability. You will build new relationship. You will learn how to do new things. And you will grow in confidence. For example, if you've been doubting, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone, I'm not confident I can do this well. But putting yourself out there, I don't know if it's a public speaking thing, you do it and you have a couple people giving the feedback, you reach people. And you can actually come to the realization, oh, I'm not that bad. That sounds like confidence to me. Or if you are like an entrepreneur, you dare to go and try a new product, and then you put yourself out there, action, growth zone, you dare something, you try something, a different product, and actually you get the feedback. Oh, I actually like this. Tell me, what would that produce in you? Comfort, confidence. You can do this. You can do this. So please, daring to accept a growth zone, daring to try something different will allow you to build new skills and relationship, to increase your confidence, and you will gain an experience that you didn't have before. Experience that will allow you to talk from a place of facts, not I think, I believe, I did, I saw, I heard. Factual, not emotions. So how do you do that? How does John suggest you go ahead and go grow yourself to be a leader that stretches, a leader that accepts to be in the growth zone, a leader that accepts to get out of his comfort zone? Three things. Um, I'll quickly remind that all these elements are from the wonderful book of John, Developing the Leader in You. So, the three things John suggests: one, commit to learn something every day. Commit to learning, say yes to new challenges, and surround yourself with growth minded people. Feel like disappearing to allow you to capture the screen. Some of you say you like the slides. Yeah. So I'm curious, of these three things, which one is the one that appeals to you, that you feel like you want to give a try? Committing to learning, saying yes to new challenges, and surrounding yourself with growth minded people. Just reflect and think for you, for your reality. Learning something, commit to learning is important. Why? Because as you commit to learning something new, you definitely live out of your comfort zone. If you read on something new, you learn new things. If you want to practice what you read, you'll build new skills. Being committed to learning something new will keep you in the learning curve. So you will always be learning, growing, and expanding. Um, and that's the reason why in some good organization they'll talk about things like individual development plan. Like each year, at least once you would have a discussion with your manager to talk about what you want to grow this year as skills. What are the new things you want to learn? Hey, if you don't learn something, you're stagnant. We talked about that couple. And if you want to grow, I don't know how senior, how intelligent, or how much you already know, there's always room to know more. There's always room for more learning. So John suggests commit to be a learner. As you stay in that mindset, I want to continue to learn. There are new things. As I was giving us an example, I don't know if you are kind of a principal engineer, you know everything there is to be known in your domain. Are there some integration with other aspects? What does that mean today with AI? There are always new things to learn about your domain. So, one is to really adopt a mindset or commit to learning and continuing to learn. Number two is to say yes to new challenges. This is a big one. This is a big one because I see people being offered opportunities in organization and they're like, not sure because I've never done this. This is really a good test of your ability to get out of your comfort zone. And I have also noticed that those who grow their career, those who accelerate their career progression, incorporate, are those who tend to say yes. And there's some sort of link between those who say yes to these challenges to those who score high on growth mindset. These are people who say yes to something maybe they've not worked in that area, but they okay, I will learn. See, for example, someone who's been IT, I don't know, for 10, 15 years. Okay, they become a leader, maybe they were a director into IT product or whatever, but there's an opportunity to lead something in marketing, and people think about them, maybe they need the data, the insights of IT to be used in marketing. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. They've not done marketing before, they've not studied, but they dare to say yes. Why? Because they think they can learn. There's so much power when you already have this mindset, yes, to learning. There's so much power because then you don't say, no, I don't. You can learn. A lot of times, um, I will hear and work with leaders who are like, I'm not a natural leader. I'm not. And I say, wonderful, welcome, because you can learn those skills, leadership skills, soft skills, whatever skills, they are learnable. And that's why, have you noticed the number one thing John says is commit to learning. If you're already in the posture, in the mindset, oh, I'm willing to learn, sometimes I like to say, is there something that can stop you? Is there something that can stop you? I actually know a lady, um, she really was into learning. That one time she was interviewing for multinational and she was telling the people in the panel, like, put me anywhere, but just give me enough time and I'll do it. They're like, oh, you're an IT, yeah. But if you look at my resume, I did a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit. Why? Because I believe in learning. That was powerful to hear. And it is so true. If you doubt, you may not play piano now, but I'm sure if they granted you time and an instrument and with the commitment to learn, you could be playing something 3 or 6 months from now. Same for all the other skills. You see, like some people I've seen who have to learn to cook, maybe because wife is not around, or depending on your culture. I'm talking like someone from an African culture where most times it's the woman doing the cooking. So all this talking Judith wants to say, saying yes to uncertainty, saying yes to new challenges will definitely put you in a place where you learn new skills. That's a way to grow. And that may be the reason why people who are used to saying, yeah, we want this new challenge, yes, it's a great opportunity to grow faster. As you embrace the challenge and embrace the learning, learning will happen. Learning will happen. The third thing that John suggests you do to get out of your comfort zone and stretch and grow as a leader is to surround yourself with people who are also growth oriented. This is an important point he's making. Why? Because um iron sharpen irons. Um if imagine you're surrounded by people who prefer the comfort, cozy, routine statement, and then you come and tell them, oh, this is new thing. Nobody has done that before. My boss says, or the organization says, hey, the heavy voice. of the stagnant security, staying in what you know. Well, really, are you gonna make it? You've never done this before. And the volume of no, 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 don't put yourself in a risky position can be loud. And at the end of the day, you may not dare go for that growth opportunity. So watch out. And maybe it's another minute for us to pause and reflect. Who are you surrounded with? Um, are there growth oriented people that you have around you? Just reflect. Just and as we say, iron sharpens irons. So maybe you are not surrounded, or you are surrounded with people like that because you are like that yourself. Just take a moment to reflect. Who are you surrounded? Who do you surround yourself with? The point John wanted to make here is, in general, people who surround you will influence, will impact your decision, your choices, and the tendencies if you are more growth or stagnant, maintenance related. So he also offers this shift, by now, we have this in the series so far. These are some concrete shifts that John offers for you to move from, comfort zone leader to a growth zone leader. To grow yourself, you can apply it to you. You can also apply it to your direct, to people you are developing. The comfort zone leader tends to avoid risk. We said that a couple minutes ago. Cozy, comfortable, stay in the know, the things I know, the things I'm comfortable doing. We don't want, well, I'm no one to say we don't want that. You know what you want for your life. But if you want growth and expansion, think accepting, embracing challenges, not shying away. I don't want this, but okay, this what growth opportunity. What can I do to leverage this challenge as an opportunity? And you accept to embrace and go for it, not protecting yourself, but facing it. Another thing he says is comfort zone leaders, they tend to stick to routine. Oh, they do the same thing. What I described at the beginning, kind of, let's maintain a cozy, comfortable thing. Um, Routine ways of thinking, routine ways of doing things, and same old, same old. And sometimes you will see this kind of leaders in organization. I mean, they've been manager, director, I don't know, for 10 years doing the same things. Um, is that the type of leader you want to be? Is that the type of lecturer? I remember, as I mentioned it, at some point when was it when I was doing my MBA, and people like, I want to change, I want a different instructor because like this one, he's been teaching here for 20 years, and some people say it's exactly the same course material. Really? Is this who you want to be? No, you don't create something new. You don't innovate if you do the same thing, if you are in maintenance, keeping the same routine, the same things. So the leader who is in the growth zone, he seeks new experiences, and he creates new experiences for his students, for his direct, for people around him. Um, you know me by now. Okay, new things, I like new, I believe new opportunity, new allows for expansion, for discovery. I'm curious of nature. But does that mean you're crazy? You don't just care about any risk and go and try things? No, it's not what we are seeing here. The leader who lives in a growth zone always thinks about how to develop himself, his people, his impact, what he's trying to achieve with his vision, and new ways. That takes new ways of thinking. If you want to grow you, your people, your team, your impact, your organization, you need to think and do different things. Do the same thing, same result. You want something different, think different, and do some things different. Another thing that John says is like leaders in the fear, in the comfort zone, the fear. We talked about that fear of failure, doubt about themselves. But those in the growth zone, failure is an opportunity. Imagine if you were free of the fear of failure. There's so much power. I've seen this transform people time and time again in coaching sessions. People who are afraid, what would they say? What impact? What would that tell about me? But when they actually realize that even if what they dread so much happened, they could learn. Oh my God, it's like a sticky thing was removed from their head, and I can dare. I can dare. People are more daring, they are more audacious, they are more brave, they are more courageous. And this gives me the envy to pause and ask you, if you're watching this and you are leading a team, um, is your team comfortable trying new things? Or are people afraid of trying new things? Just take a moment, please, and reflect on that. Um, I don't know what answer is coming up, but think about it. Are your people free to give any idea they have? Are they feeling free to open up and say anything and try new things and come up, think out of the box and not be afraid to tell you, the leader, what is coming up, what they want to try? Just reflect about that. And if the answer is yes, good job, because it means you've created a psychologically safe place where people dare, where there's not the culture of punishment, where it's like, okay, you've instilled the culture of we can feel and learn and grow. And there are some organizations who have understood that. So they encourage people to fail fast and learn. I actually worked with a lead. It was so good working with the lead. This person was thinking so different. Actually, in the onboarding, in the first 3 months, he will ask the person fail on something, but ensure that and not but and ensure that by the time you are completing your 3 years onboarding, you can talk about one thing you tried, you failed, and the learning. So failing was encouraged. As a consequence, those who were working for this leader, they were not afraid. They dared to do things. They dared to try things. Um, it is so important and says a lot about your leadership, because if you look around teams where people dare to make proposal, where a lot is coming from this like trust. They trust that they will not be punished. They trust that they will not lose their job. They trust that the leader has their back. So, but if when there's a culture of punishment, oh, I cannot dare to do this, people will not dare to give their point of view, to share new ideas or try something different. Another thing I want to say to illustrate that is, imagine like at home, are your kids, if you have kids, encouraged to try some recipe? Can they cook? Can they on their own without mommy go to the kitchen and try something? If the answer, I don't want any trouble with mom. If you're watching this and you are a mom, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Letting people know because they're afraid of upsetting you, putting the kitchen in a certain state, or cooking things that are not nice. Because of that, they are not daring. Is it really what you want? If the answer is no, then what are you doing to make them understand it's okay? It's natural, it's human to feel, but learn from it and move forward. What are you as a leader doing to make people feel okay? It's okay. Even if we feel, if the recipe, what did you learn? Maybe too much, you don't put water, or I put, which is wonderful, because the next time that girl will do a cake, she will pay attention. She doesn't want her cake to fall down again. So for you, it's like a feeling, but they actually learn a very good cooking lesson. There's so much value in embracing failure. There's so much value because Again, as I said, when you, oh, it's okay, even if it doesn't go well, I will learn. It takes a sting off your head. I I experienced that, like when I start things like this, well, nobody may join. I may have technical problem. But as soon as I started saying, well, okay, I will learn. Bam, nothing is stopping me. Let's go. If technology doesn't work, then I will learn what needs to happen for technology to work better. Yay, and I can move forward. Well, if I do this live and then nobody joins, well, I'll ask myself and check my process. What am I doing to bring people in? There is so much value, and it removes, the fear. You're just there because no matter the outcome, it'll be good. It could be successful. And even if the outcome is not what you wanted, you can learn by asking, what could I have done? What, just reflecting on what you did, there'll be learning, and it is so valuable. And that's why John could say, well, leaders who live in the growth zone, they see they embrace failure as a learning opportunity. They tend to adapt to change instead of running and shying away from change. They don't limit ambition. Actually, they're after, hey, bring your ideas. Let's try something and improve. I think I'll disappear again for you to look at the two columns. Which ones most describe who you are, the type of leader that you are? And which one describe the type of leader you want to be? I just love column in the right, like challenges, new experiences, learning, adapting, improvement. For me, it makes me just think about growth and expansion. And if you want that, you know what to do. Get out of the comfort zone and choose to say yes. So it brings me, I'm told I have like 5 minutes to go. And before we close, I would like to really suggest something comfort zone. um John recommended like three things if you want to grow. If you want to grow, he said, well, um commit and engage into learning. Commit to learn something like every day, every month, every year. Commit to learn something. And then two, say yes to challenges. Something, the unknown comes an opportunity, say yes, because as you go, that's where the learning. And then surround yourself. I'm suggesting some concrete actions that you can take after this call, so that it doesn't just stay another learning for your brain in your head, but actually something that you can practice to build those muscles, getting comfortable out of your comfort zone. Number one, identify one area that you would like to grow into. Is there an area where you know that it will be great for you to develop that area, but you've been shying away? Not sure. Hey, not certain. That's not me. Imagine if you could get out of your comfort zone, out of your head, out of the fear, out of the doubt, and just dare to be courageous. What will it bring to you, to your leadership, to your team, to your organization? If there's value, choose one of those things. One. It doesn't have to be, start small, just one small thing. And then action number two, dare to do something about that, something audacious. Yes, I'll stress on the audacious. Why? Because maybe for years you've been in the place that's not me. Oh, doesn't look like, it's too uncomfortable. So for years, it's what your brain has been hearing. And your brain has been shielding you, protecting you away from these painful, difficult things that will put you so out of your comfort. And doing something bold is like you short circuit that way of thinking and try to give a clear message to the brain. Let's try something different. Let's build a new neural pathway. Let's try, like for years we've been thinking like this. Let's try something different. For example, If you know that speaking up more will change things for you at work, for you and your team, defend the budget, fight for your team. If you were able to speak up more, it will help. Hey, how about trying to this week now, starting now, every week, I will say something in QBR. I will say something when negotiating with my N plus two. That's the bold thing. If it's like, okay, accepting another challenge, they've been coming to you in the organization saying, we have this or this going on. Are you on? Uh, we would like to have you to dare to say yes. Oh, I want to give it a try. So identify one area where growth will make a huge impact for you as a leader, for your team, or for your organization. One, it doesn't have to be big, and do something bold this week about that. If it's like public speaking, say yes, do a lunch and learn, present somewhere, or say yes to go to that conference. Dare to like really boldly get out of your comfort zone and observe what happens to you when you do that. And then the third thing I advise you do this week is to really commit to continuous growth. Um, it's more kind of a mindset, wanting not to be stagnant, to learn, to grow and expand. Just that mindset will make you think, learning, growth, what else? How else can I grow? How can I expand? It's such a good posture for you as a leader, for you and for your team, because having that mindset, there will be the tendency to pass it along. Would you want to hire people who work for you 3, 5, 10 years and they're doing the same thing? It's boring. Well, that's Judy. Judy likes new things. But just imagine, does it say about you? I told you about the example, someone dropping off an MBA class because the same instructor has been using the same notes. I don't want that. Is that what you want? If you want something different, embracing the culture of how can I improve my notes? How can I improve my class? How can I improve my impact? And having that way of thinking, you would constantly live outside your comfort zone to improve that material, to improve how you deliver, to improve the experiences, to improve your impact in whatever you're doing. You will always be in movement, learning, trying new things, and building your movement. Oh, Judith, it's time to go here. So these are the action I suggest. Oh my God, now I remember this was week 12. Yeah, it's week 12, but it's not our last live in the series Activate the Leader in You, because a lot of you said, the series was good. Can you do some kind of a recap? So next week, same time, we'll have another session where we will be do a recap of the key learnings from the series. It'll be good because we'll recap the key things, essential lessons, essential priorities, all those things we talked about, the key message, one action, and moving forward, how you can develop that key lesson from John Maxwell moving forward. The format of the way it's being developed is wonderful. I think you will love it. And again, as I said, the series is ending, but it's not the end of your growth. If you have not heard about it yet, I've been approved by YouTube to offer membership. Yay! So, all my people asking questions on LinkedIn, you can join, you can become member of the channel. And what it will give you, well, just the basic membership allows you to have a micro learning delivered to you that you can access at your own pace. And this will solve one issue I was noticing already. A lot of my viewers are from India. Thank you, India, Nepal, Indonesia, for all the support. So you would be able to receive this micro learning and consume it at your own pace. Key leadership topic presented in a very light format, like 3 4 minutes, but each month you will learn something. You will have the workbook and the assessments included. So go and check. I think I'll put the link below on what the membership I'm offering offers you, that's one way to continue to grow. And I want to precise, even though I'm offering membership, all this good content that you've appreciated that brought us here will still be available. The playlist is there. Just go if you want to revisit any of the content we talked about. One more reason to attend the last one, because we'll come back. One, we talked about what is leadership, the assessment, how to move from one level to the next, the key things, how to accelerate. So this will also still be available. The membership just allows you to have a more customized, it's not a big thing, but small micro learning with the tools, the workbooks, the assessment, the leadership assessment. So you can know what you're starting with, and sometime after you'll be able to take the assessment again. Did I say also coaching will be available? A lot of people, due to maybe we are not in the companies you're working with in Petrop, so how can we benefit from your coaching? As a membership, as an elite membership, you have direct coaching to me once per month. So go and check the membership below. Let me know what you think. At the end of the day, it's 2025, and we want to activate the leader in you. We want to amplify your leadership and your impact. It was a pleasure. Time for me to go, and looking forward to connecting with you and working with you. Until then, because the membership starts only on April 15 or so, I can't wait to see you next week to do a recap and celebrate the growth with the series. Take care. Bye.